It's good to be here in Orlando today. We're announcing a few things really focused on our priority over the last year to protect our kids and to take down every single predator we can find in this state. And we have broken the records for child predator takedowns by 3- or 4-fold over the last year, working with our great Florida Department of Law Enforcement, local law enforcement, our prosecutors, both in the statewide prosecution office of the AG's office, as well as our state attorneys. We've combined now, since I took the oath of office, to take down over 1,400 child predators. So I want to thank all of you guys for an outstanding job. Hey, you can clap, it's okay. This morning, we announced 2 additional actions to combat these child predators. We arrested, he's still locked up as of this morning, from Leesburg here in Central Florida, Devin Hart, on over 10 counts of child sex abuse material that's been found on his devices. We're also announcing a sentence of 25 years that was just handed down by a judge on one of our cases in Pasco County for Michael Ambrosio, who had some of the most horrific images and videos on his devices that our investigators have ever seen. You know, a lot of people, even some judges in this state, unfortunately, keep asking, why are you looking for lifetime sentences and decades behind bars for these people that aren't hurting anybody? They've got child porn on their screens. Well, these are not victimless crimes. People are getting hurt here. The videos from Pasco County involved sexual abuse of babies, of toddlers, the most heinous of acts. And those victims that have suffered the most brutal of offenses, they suffer again and again every time these videos are watched, shared, sold. And let's be honest, these individuals, somebody that has an addiction to that type of disgusting content, we see a lot of correlation. It is only a matter of time before their addiction grows and they want something more, before they actually go and physically abuse a little kid. Last December, we announced a 135-year sentence in Volusia County. And the guy there, he was a teacher in a grade school. He took yearbook photos and photos of the students in class and used AI generation to create child porn based on that imagery. And everybody said, why? This guy's not actually hurting anybody. Why would you give him 135 years? It's not enough. We've got to get these dangerous, demented people away from our families, away from our kids for absolutely as long as possible. There's clearly something not right with these people. They can get that help in our Department of Corrections, where we hope to lock them up for as long as possible. And then that Volusia County case, that individual had sexually abused, I think, his dog, right? An animal. That's what these people are getting off on. That's who they are. We have to keep them away from our kids. This morning, the cases we're going to talk about in Leesburg, after finding files on devices, further investigation revealed that this individual was using the TikTok app to send and solicit CSAM material. So for parents at home, wake up. This is one of the most popular apps for young people, and it is riddled with predators and pornography. This is not helping you build a life that's going to enable flourishment, that's going to enable you to go off and build and raise a family and raise kids in God's image. This is dangerous. So parents, look at this. If you're not aware of what your kids are doing at home on their devices, you better figure it out right now. Also, in this case with Mr. Hart, he was communicating on Discord. This is not an app I was very familiar with before I took this job. Discord is a gaming app that's been around a long time, but what we see is these predators, they'll be conversing with kids on other sites like Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. They often pretend to be kids themselves. They're very smart, very, very smart. They will lie in wait. They will be patient. They will use a dialect that sounds like kids. They'll tap into their insecurities and vulnerabilities, and in today's age, kids have so many. And then they'll often say, let's move the conversation to Discord. Why? It's an easier avenue to communicate, and there's not as much tracking there. They think they're going to get away with it. Well, not here. Not today. Not under our watch, and not when facing the fight that's going to be coming at them from our law enforcement standing behind me, as well as our great prosecutors. So let today be another lesson. If you go after our kids here in Florida, we will come after you with everything we've got. And even if you're just hiding behind a screen, if you think, by not laying a finger on somebody, but just watching some child porn, you're going to get away with a slap on the wrist, that is not going to happen here. Not in this state. We will put you away for absolutely as long as we can. Today, we hit a threshold. It's a record, but it's not one you're really proud of. I mean, we're proud we've locked up 1,400 plus child predators. It's a shame that they're out there, but they just keep coming. FDLE's got several more in the hopper that will be rolling out in the next week or two. We're going to be out there. We're going to be watching. We're going to keep fighting to make this the safest state to raise a family. So I'm honored to be joined this morning by FDLE Assistant Commissioner Mike Williams. FDLE's been pulling on a lot of these efforts, a lot of these 1,400 cases. It's their investigators that have had to go through, comb through the material, put the evidence together so that we can go out and prosecute these cases to the fullest. That takes a toll on people. When you've got to be exposed to this, it'll take a toll on you. So these investigators, God bless them, the work that they're doing. For most of them, it's not the highest paycheck in the world. They're doing it because it's a passion project, because they care about protecting our kids. We're also joined by the two prosecutors that are working these cases from my office, Assistant Statewide Prosecutor Taylor Chatting and Assistant Statewide Prosecutor John Afina. So I'll let them say a little bit about their specific cases. So I'll say it again, stay away from our kids. If you come after them, you're going to have a problem with me. You're going to have a problem with these guys. You're going to have a big problem with the state of Florida. And we're going to make it real easy to get you in our Department of Corrections and leave you there for a long time. And we're eligible to seek the death penalty. You better believe we're going to do it. So with that, I'll turn it over to Mike.
So thank you, Attorney General. Good morning. I'm Assistant Commissioner Mike Williams with FDLE. We're fortunate to live in the free state of Florida, where our governor and our Attorney General stand ready to fight to protect our children from exploitation and abuse, and ensure that Florida remains a safe place to live and raise a family. As the Attorney General mentioned, these very serious crimes committed by these predators will land them a very long prison sentence. At FDLE, our top priority is protecting our children. And Florida has a zero-tolerance policy for criminals who exploit children. The internet, as you just saw some examples of, has become a place where predators hide behind a screen or behind a username on a social media platform to engage in depraved criminal acts against children, but you cannot hide from us. Last year, Governor Ron DeSantis signed legislation aimed to strengthen protections for children against sexual crimes, strengthen penalties for child abuse, and hold predators accountable for their heinous crimes. I commend the outstanding work of our FDLE agents and our partners for assuring that these dangerous predators are taken off our streets. And of course, we cannot do this work alone, and our success depends on the great partnerships and the collaboration you see up here with us today, and that's at work around the state every day. These cases are yet another great example of the countless hours of these types of investigations, countless hours worked to find these sick individuals who use the internet to exploit, to harm, and to manipulate children sexually. So at FDLE, it is our mission and our priority to make Florida a safe place for families. So please talk to your children about the dangers of being online. You can visit the FDLE website to review tips for keeping your children and your family safe online. So at FDLE, we will continue working with the Attorney General's staff, him and his team, to ensure that these offenders are found and are held fully accountable. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Taylor, you want to come on up?
Good morning. I'd like to start off by first thanking Attorney General Uthmeier as well as Statewide Prosecutor McVeigh for their leadership and their continued commitment to ensuring that the children of Florida are protected. I also want to recognize the outstanding work of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement as well as the Leesburg Police Department. Their collaboration and investigative work in this case ensured that defendant Devin Hwart was identified and taken into custody. As the Attorney General mentioned, this investigation began with a cyber tip from Discord and TikTok to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children. Based on the evidence uncovered during this investigation and the subsequent forensic review of the defendant's digital devices, our office filed an information charging this defendant with 11 counts of possession of child sexual abuse material. Many of these cases do begin on online platforms. Applications like Discord, Roblox, TikTok, Instagram, and many others are being used by child predators to contact and otherwise exploit these children. I encourage parents to stay involved in their children's online activity, know what applications they're utilizing, know who they're communicating with, and have open conversations in the home regarding internet safety. Cases like this highlight the importance of strong relationships between law enforcement and prosecutors. Working together, we can ensure that these child predators are identified, arrested, and prosecuted to the fullest extent under the law. Thank you.
All right, come on up, Gianna.
Thank you. Good morning. I also would like to thank the Attorney General and Statewide Prosecutor McVeigh for their leadership and their continued commitment to protecting children here in the state of Florida. Some of the worst I have seen in my entire career. That is what my FDLE agent, Dottie Pruitt, told me when I first got this case. In her many years of experience with these cases, Agent Pruitt thought this was some of the most disturbing child pornography she had seen thus far. Simply reading the description of the images and the videos, I was instantly disturbed. It is something that still occupies my mind, and I think I'll remember for the rest of my life. This defendant possessed multiple videos and images of vile material depicting society's most vulnerable population, infant children. No one should have to see those images and videos, have them ingrained in their brain forever, but myself, my colleagues in law enforcement will never be able to unsee it. I'm incredibly grateful to my colleagues, our partners in law enforcement, and the Office of the Attorney General, and the Attorney General himself for helping secure a 25-year sentence in Florida State Prison for this offender. It is through our collective effort that we are able to ensure parents and children sleep just a little better at night knowing someone like this is behind bars. I'm incredibly proud to have been able to be just a small part of making sure justice was served in this case. Thank you again.
I promise you don't want to be going up against these strong women in the courtroom. So people that keep breaking the law in Florida, they must have a death wish, because we clearly we practice what we preach. We back our law enforcement. We support them, give them the tools to be successful, and we prosecute to the fullest. We do not believe in lenient plea deals, not here in this state. So I'll conclude by saying, as we announce this record-breaking day of over 1,400 child predators behind bars, I want to thank our governor for standing strong, for protecting Florida families, for heightening criminal penalties and giving us more tools to go after these demented perverts. I want to thank law enforcement for working day and night all over the state, making sure that no stone goes unturned when it comes to finding these villains and holding them accountable. So with that, we got time for a couple questions, if there are any.
Will you tell the parents to delete TikTok from their kids' phones?
Look, parents have tough decisions to make. I do think parents need to reevaluate what is the appropriate age to give your kid a cell phone where they have the internet at their fingertips. When I was 15, 16 years old, that didn't exist yet. So today, you see kids now, and I know, my 5-year-old daughter is so smart and so cute and so persuasive. It's hard for me to say no to her. I can only imagine what it's like when suddenly she's 13 or 14 and all the other kids have them. So that is a tough decision to make. I'll tell you this, she's not getting a phone at 14 or 15 years old. No way. TikTok, very, very dangerous. We see a lot of predatorial activity there, a lot of pornography that's still on the site. We're working to hold them accountable. We have a recently passed piece of legislation, SB 3, that says under 14, it's illegal for these social media sites to let them on. 14 to 16, you can have access, but only after explicit parental approval. The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals recently upheld that law. It is the law of the land. And we're giving companies, really until another 30 days from now to get straight with regard to the under 14, 60 days to ensure parental consent is in place, and then we will begin filing lawsuits as fast as you can see.
So do you see it as a net positive or negative, specifically on that app? Not talking about social media broadly.
I see most of social media as a net negative. That's TikTok and others. I see a lot of dangers. We've got the physical abuses we're talking about today. We've seen heightened evidence of self-harm, bulimia, in the worst of cases, suicides. I think it is a dangerous environment. It puts you in an echo chamber where everybody's focused on appearances, and there's filters and lenses to try to change the way you look. It's all horrific. I don't like it. The reality is it's here. Technology is not going anywhere. It's going to keep advancing, and that's why these guys have got to get even sharper every single day to stay ahead of these dangers.
You've also been going after Roblox specifically to shoot subpoenas. They claim they're trying to make things safer. Do you have any update for how that investigation's going?
They haven't done enough. I mean, every week it seems like we're dealing with another child predator case that's coming from that app, just making our cases even stronger and stronger. So specifically, no. Hopefully we'll have some updates soon. We've got the civil case now that's in litigation. We're working through some subpoenas and requests for information on the criminal side. But if it's clear that they knew how dangerous this application was and they hid it, tried to hide it under the rug, people need to be held accountable. And that's not civil, that's criminal.
Any comment on a judge blocking the governor from declaring CARE and another organization as a terrorist organization?
I think if you go look, this judge has been overturned more than any other in Florida state history. We're kind of used to it there. Goes up through the Northern District, and then he gets overturned on appeal a lot. I certainly think the governor, our state leaders, they have the authority to declare people terrorist organizations. The governors have strong police powers in the state to protect our citizens at all costs. Where you have ties to terrorist cells overseas, I don't think you should be getting school vouchers and other benefits and charitable preferences here and there. So we'll keep litigating that. We're investigating some of these groups and their tentacles throughout the state, and you'll hear more from us throughout the year.
Any plans to meet with State Attorney Malik Orell while you're in town?
Not while I'm here, no. We have seen some cases recently where, we've raised alarm and she has changed her position to heighten prosecutions. That's the goal. Public safety, putting bad guys away, that's not partisan. That's not political. That should be clear. Whether you are a Democrat, Republican, or whatever else, if people engage in attempted murder, if they kill people, if they molest people, they need to go away for a long time. And whatever party you are, if you're willing to do that and save our kids and families, I'll work with anybody.